Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Overwatch 2 video. Today's video is going to be focused on Overwatch 2's ranked matchmaking and why it is absolutely scuffed. I mean, the term ELO hell gets thrown around a lot, but ranked Overwatch is a prime example of it actually existing. If you're somebody who's stuck in bronze or silver in this game, you basically cannot escape unless you get boosted by another player. The system itself is set up in mysterious ways, like most ranked games are, so the player base isn't able to exploit it, and that makes sense, right? But the problem is, fans have figured out pretty much how the Overwatch 2 system works. It can basically be summarized into this. If you played a lot on your account and you were not plat or higher in Overwatch 1, then you're pretty much going to be stuck in bronze and silver here in Overwatch 2. If you were plat or higher back in Overwatch 1, or if you got a brand new account, then your hidden MMR is no longer scuffed and therefore you are free to climb. I think there is a perception within Overwatch that this hidden ranking system that Blizzard has created is basically the word of God to some people out there. I mean, if you're not stuck in ELO hell, then it's easy to say that it didn't happen to me, therefore everyone else just sucks. I must be pretty great. But the problem is the weight of the lobbies themselves. A win when you're in bronze or silver basically means nothing, and this is why there are countless clips online of people going 5-0, 5-1, 5-2, and actually deranking, right? Which makes zero sense. But meanwhile, at higher ranks, dudes are out here going 5, 11, and 1 and hitting Grandmaster. How does that make any sense? It just comes down to the weight of the lobbies, basically. Your actual wins and losses at low ranks don't really seem to matter at all, which is why it feels nearly impossible to climb in this game. I've been streaming Overwatch 2 ranked nearly daily for months now, and the amount of cards I've had where I go 5-0, 5-1, or 5-2, and I either stay the same rank or even D-rank is absolutely absurd. Now, the Blizzard bootlickers are going to say that wins and losses are only part of the equation, right? Individual performance is taken into account as well, even though Blizzard themselves have said that that's not actually the case, but regardless, it would make sense for your individual performance to actually matter, not just your wins and losses. So I went and recorded my latest card for damage. I figured it would be a prime example. I knew how this was going to turn out because I've seen it happen time and time again. In damage, I'm silver 5, which is basically the bottom tier of silver. I'm one bad game away basically from being dropped back in the bronze, and my first match was a blowout. It was so bad that one person on the other team quit. I went 16-0 playing Torbjorn, and I had second most damage behind only our Doomfist. It was a pretty good start to our card, I would think, right? The second match was also a blowout. I went 14 kills, 3 assists, 1 death, and in total, I was 30 kills and 1 death in my first 2 matches. 2-0, 2 wins, 2 losses, 30 kills, only 1 death. So far, we're doing pretty damn good, right? This is like GM quality stat line, right? If you're thinking about it for the higher level of the game. The third match saw us playing push, and this one was a lot closer, but in the end, we did end up winning, bringing the record for the card up to 3-0. Well, my fourth match was just stupid. We had a tank who literally did not know what his buttons did, which is something you see quite frequently when you play lower ranked matches. Like, lower ranked is basically quick play plus, where you get competitive points for gold weapons. That's kind of just what it is. We got absolutely destroyed in this match, with our tank tallying only 729 total damage for the 2 rounds that we played. How absurd is that? We didn't even have a chance in this match, but keep in mind, this one match on my card where we were basically playing 4v5 is going to play a very important role later on. My fifth match was just as stupid. After stomping the opposing team to the point where we were even spawn trapping them for a little bit, we ended the first half without letting them get to the end of the pay line, so it was looking pretty good. But the second half saw our tank disconnect, and I'm not even shitting you here, he disconnected 5 times. He would come back, play for like 2 seconds, disconnect again. It was basically 4v5 for a while until for some unknown reason someone else on the other team ended up disconnecting, so they had to play 4v5 for a while, with occasionally it being 4v4 because both teams had one player missing for a short time. In the end, our tank got his hamster wheel lubricated enough to actually finish the match, and we won. Despite all the nonsense, I was still able to put up a decent stat line, so here we are now. We are 4-1, pretty good stats, and my placement match looked like it was going to be as bad as the one match where our 700 damage tank was trying to figure out what his left shift did. We couldn't even get the first point here on Junkertown, man. It was bad. We had our tank complaining that we all suck and that he's actually on his alt account because his master's account got banned, but for reasons I don't even understand, we somehow held the other team also from getting the first point. We somehow just stopped them and we won the game, and I ended up going 18-8. Not the best stat line, but honestly, we had such a bad first half, it's hard to have a good stat line in that sense, but I had the most damage in the game, and this brings me to my placement card. My placement card looks like this. I went 5-1 with my one loss being a complete and total blowout with a tank that didn't even know what his left click did, and then I had a stat line. It's a pretty respectable stat line. Am I going out here dropping nukes or anything like that? No, but that's a pretty solid stat line while also going 5-1 and being top damage in half my games, despite the fact I was playing utility characters like Mei to block off their tank and their healers, and Symmetra to try to lock down choke points and things like that. But again, 5-1, and that one loss was clearly on our tank. I go from silver 5 to silver 4. I went up one place, and you have to go up 5 of them to even climb out of silver. Meanwhile, at higher ranks, again, dudes can go 5-11-1 and get placed in GM1. How does that possibly make any sense? Like, by my own stat line standards here, I'm going to have to go 25-5, a massive run. Nobody does that. 25-5 to go from silver to gold. Meanwhile, people can go double negative at higher ratings and still be able to climb. That does not make sense to me whatsoever. And I'm just saying, like, I'm not a great player. I'm not even sure I'm a plat quality player, but I do know that after almost 100 hours of ranked play in this season alone, I'm not a bronze 1 player, despite how much the game seems to want to make me one. Now, the solution to this is pretty simple. I feel like when players play well and when players win, they should rank up. But for some reason, the cesspool that is bronze and silver here in Overwatch 2 is just a never-ending pit of despair, where no matter how good your stats are, no matter how much you win or how nice of a win streak you go on, you're likely to just be stuck here if you're playing on an older account. Which I'm just letting you know. I know how it works, man. We're going bronze 2 to bronze 1. There is not a snowball chance in hell that I'm going to somehow magically get the silver.
Yeah, I don't think you would either. It wasn't. You didn't go down, did you?
I went 5-2 with one of our losses being a guy that literally left the game and the game ended. I stayed bronze 2.
How?
The only way to get out of this I've seen is you have to get some high gold ranked friends, play with them, and hope that you win, and hope that the weight of their match's MMR is enough to pull you out of the elo hell that is bronze and silver. Otherwise, you're just going to be stuck there as an average player with an old account. The only other solution is to make an entirely new account to play on, but most of us don't want to do that, because not only do you have to have a brand new cell phone number to even have a new account for Overwatch 2, but a lot of us have hundreds of hours invested into Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2. We have all sorts of skins and cosmetics that we earned over the years, different events we completed, different battle passes we completed. We have gold weapons that we've earned from competitive play, and we don't want to lose all of that just to circumvent Blizzard's terrible ranking system. A prime example of new accounts not having the broken MMR can be found on the leaderboards or even on your own friends list. For me personally, my friend Tate just started playing Overwatch with us, right? He never played the game before, but we were playing it a whole bunch over the last couple of months. He wanted to play with us, and so we helped him get his 50 unranked wins to unlock competitive play, and then he did his placement games with us, like me and my brother, who were just like stuck in this elo hell, right? He went 5-9 as a tank during his placement games, 5 wins, 9 losses, and after never playing the game before, he got placed gold 2, which is higher than I've been able to climb personally here with Overwatch 2. He then one-tricked Soldier for his DPS placements, and he went 5-6. He comes from a shooter background, so Soldier kind of fit him, but 5-6, he got placed in platinum. Now, I love Tate, very good buddy of mine. He's not even a bad player. He's actually pretty good considering he doesn't know the game, but dude doesn't know the maps. He doesn't know what heroes do or their abilities. He had overall placement record of 10-15, yet he's high gold, low platinum according to this game's ranking system. I think that tells you all you need to know about the hidden MMR artificially weighing down people that have older accounts. You then look at the competitive leaderboards, and of the top 100 ranked players for damage right now, I checked this today, only 48 of the top 100 players have 100 or more games played this season. For context, I have like 300, right? This is because of how broken Blizzard's hidden MMR system is. I mean, new accounts are free from the insane restrictions that Blizzard has on people who play the game a lot on one account, and then thus, the new accounts are basically the only way to escape elo hell within Overwatch 2 ranked play. But despite all of this, I do love Overwatch. I find it really fun to play. I love the heroes. I love the lore. The game's even nostalgic for me. It's been out for quite a long time, right? I enjoy unlocking the gold guns, and I think the gameplay itself is really interesting and entertaining. It has me coming back to play it almost every single day, but The ranked matchmaking feels so incredibly bad, and I feel like I'm twice the player I was when I started playing ranked this season, but ultimately that doesn't matter because of these ranks. You get people throwing, you get smurfs, you get people that literally don't know how their characters work, and just you can't have that in a ranked game, right? You need to go on 3 or 4 straight 5-0 placement cards to possibly climb out of bronze if you're not a top 500 player or someone who's an actual professional at the game or someone who's like a full-time content creator. You know, if you're just an average to above average player that's looking to climb, and the more time and effort, energy you expend into Overwatch 2, you try to get better, you want to see that rank climb as you improve as a player, it just doesn't happen. You stay at the exact same ranks basically no matter what if you have an old account, and that feels really bad. So if you're someone who is stuck like me, then I feel you. It's happening to probably the vast majority of players out there, because I think it could be very easily argued that the vast majority of players are in bronze or silver, right, as compared to platinum or higher. But if you're somebody who has not been affected by this, if your account was never really affected by this hidden MMR, I mean, you should really count your lucky stars, because it feels really bad for all the players that it does affect. But ladies and gentlemen, that is all for this video here today. This is something that's been on my mind for a while, and I wanted to do a video on it. I know non-COD stuff doesn't really do well here in the main channel, but it's not like COD's doing anything right now anyway. We gotta make videos somehow, and this is something I really wanted to talk about and discuss and get your guys' thoughts and feedback down there in the comments. So thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.